Did you know that the story of Adam and Eve is more than just a religious tale? It's an epic narrative that profoundly influenced the course of human history. Let's explore their story together. We often refer to the first humans, Adam and Eve, as the progenitors of humanity. In essence, they are our ancestors, the root from which our entire human race has sprung. Before Adam, there was no one. After Adam came all people. But who exactly were Adam and Eve? They weren't just any ordinary couple. They were the very first humans created by God. Their creation marked the dawn of humanity. This wasn't just a significant moment. It was the starting point of our existence. But what set Adam and Eve apart was where they lived. They resided in a place of unparalleled beauty and perfection known as the Garden of Eden. It wasn't just a park or a nature reserve. Eden was a paradise. The garden was filled with lush trees, meandering rivers, and everything that could sustain life and bring joy. Furthermore, they were bestowed with perfect bodies, exemplifying the pinnacle of physical perfection. Life for them was a state of harmony, free from pain, disease, or any form of suffering. This idyllic existence signifies a state of perfection and peace that humans have been striving to attain ever since. And now, let's dive deeper into the story of Adam and Eve. Their story isn't just about paradise or perfection. It's a profound exploration of human nature, choice, and the consequences of our actions. In the serene setting of the Garden of Eden, God entrusted Adam with a simple yet pivotal responsibility. He was not to consume or touch the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. This tree stood as a clear boundary between obedience and disobedience, between submission to divine wisdom and the temptation of personal knowledge. For Adam, this wasn't just a rule. It was a test, a critical moment in which his faith and trust in God would be put to the ultimate test. However, the narrative takes a dramatic turn with the introduction of a new character, the serpent. Often seen as a symbol of temptation and evil, the serpent approaches Eve, the very embodiment of innocence and purity. The serpent's words were calculated to sow seeds of doubt in Eve's mind, challenging the divine directive and tempting her towards disobedience. With cunning and deceit, the serpent convinced Eve that partaking in the forbidden fruit would grant her knowledge and make her like God. Eve, taken in by these beguiling words, decided to eat the fruit and even shared it with Adam, thus sealing their fate. Their act of disobedience, however, came at a cost. As they partook of the forbidden fruit, their eyes were suddenly opened, marking a stark contrast to the innocence that had been their state before. This wasn't just a physical change. It was a spiritual awakening that brought with it the realization of their nakedness. Suddenly aware of their own vulnerability and imperfection, Adam and Eve felt compelled to hide from God, their creator. God, in his omniscience, knew what had transpired. He called out to Adam and Eve, initiating a dialogue that unveiled their disobedience. This moment of confrontation marked a turning point in their lives and the course of human history. God, in his infinite wisdom, pronounced judgment upon the serpent. Cursing it to crawl on its belly and pronouncing consequences for Adam and Eve, they were expelled from the Garden of Eden, banished from the very source of their perfection and innocence. This expulsion wasn't just a physical removal from a garden. It represented a severance from the state of grace that had been their lot. The cherubim, symbolic of divine presence, were positioned beside the tree of life, effectively barring Adam and Eve's way with a flaming sword. This served as a constant reminder of their separation from the divine, from the very source of life and perfection. Adam and Eve were left to navigate a world now tainted by sin and separation from God. The Garden of Eden, once their sanctuary, became a forbidden zone, eternally inaccessible to them. The tree of life, which symbolized immortality and eternal life, was tantalizingly close, yet perpetually out of reach. This paradox of proximity and inaccessibility encapsulates the essence of their loss. The expulsion from Eden, the Garden of Harmony, marked the end of an era. It signified the passing from a state of innocence to one of knowledge, from communion with God to separation, and from life without pain to the awareness of mortality. This transition wasn't just a punishment. It was a pivotal moment that shaped the trajectory of human existence. The story of Adam and Eve is much more than a mere tale. It's a profound exploration of our origins, our nature, and the choices that define our existence. Their creation in God's image signifies our inherent value and purpose. Their harmonious life in the Garden of Eden symbolizes the potential for peace and unity with the divine. However, their fall from grace, as depicted in the book of Genesis, underscores the reality of human fallibility and the consequences of disobedience. Furthermore, the expulsion from the garden serves as a powerful metaphor for the human condition. The separation from the tree of life symbolizes our alienation from God, a state that many religious and spiritual traditions believe has led to suffering and imperfection in the world. The serpent, often seen as a symbol of temptation and evil, plays a pivotal role in their downfall. Its cunning deception and manipulation of Eve highlight the allure of forbidden knowledge and the dangers of unchecked curiosity. This aspect of the story serves as a cautionary tale, reminding us of the importance of discernment and the consequences of succumbing to temptation. In Christian theology, the fall of Adam and Eve holds particular significance. It is believed that their disobedience introduced sin and suffering into the world, setting humanity on a path of separation from God. This theological perspective views the fall as a pivotal event that necessitated divine intervention through figures like Jesus Christ. Moreover, the story of Adam and Eve has had a profound impact on art, literature, and culture throughout history. From Michelangelo's iconic sculpture of David to William Blake's painting of the same name, artists have been captivated by the drama and symbolism of the fall of man. The story has also inspired countless literary works, including John Milton's epic poem Paradise Lost. In analyzing the story of Adam and Eve, various interpretations and perspectives come into play. Some view the narrative as a purely allegorical representation of the human condition, while others see it as a historical account of the origins of humanity. The inclusion of the story in the Bible, specifically the book of Genesis, has ensured its enduring relevance in religious and cultural discourse. As we reflect on the story of Adam and Eve, several key themes emerge. The concept of creation underscores the purposeful and intentional bringing forth of humanity into existence. The Garden of Eden embodies a state of innocence, harmony, and communion with God. The fall of man, on the other hand, introduces themes of temptation, disobedience, and the consequences of sin. Moreover, the story touches upon the relationship between knowledge and innocence, highlighting the potential pitfalls of seeking forbidden wisdom. Adam and Eve represent different facets of humanity. Adam, often seen as the embodiment of humanity, signifies our connection to God through faith and obedience. Eve, known as the mother of all living, represents our capacity for choice and the potential for both good and evil. In conclusion, the story of Adam and Eve transcends its status as a mere creation myth. It delves into the depths of human experience, encompassing creation, innocence, temptation, disobedience, and the consequences of our actions. Their creation in God's image signifies our inherent worth. Their life in the Garden of Eden symbolizes the potential for harmony and unity with the divine. Yet their fall serves as a stark reminder of our fallibility and the repercussions of straying from divine guidance. The expulsion from Eden encapsulates the human condition, marked by separation from God and the yearning for the perfection of the past. This timeless narrative continues to resonate, inviting us to contemplate our origins, our relationship with the divine, and the choices that shape our existence. If you found this video interesting, please subscribe and stay updated for more videos. Thanks for watching.